Hi, welcome to Workout Wednesday. I'm Chris from Divine Key, spelled QI, here with Workout Wednesday at the Spiritual Gym. And today we're going to play a little bit of a game. It's a little bit different. I'm going to be working with tarot today. That's what I felt like doing, called to do. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to describe a tarot card. I play this game myself a lot. Like, I'll listen to YouTube tarot readers, and often I'm doing something as I'm listening. I'm not really watching them. And as they talk about the card that they're reading, I guess what the card is. So that's what we're going to do today. We're stretching our intuitive muscle at this spiritual gym today. So if you don't work with tarot, this might be a good intro to understand how the energy of the card can come through. I'm working with the traditional Rider Waite Smith deck today because that is an image that you can find anywhere. It's the most common image and is often used as the teaching deck. So it's not my favorite deck to read with. It is one that I've read with for the beginning part of my career reading tarot. So for many, many, many years, it was the deck I used. But now there's so many options with such beautiful art, I like to change it up. But for today, we're using the Rider Waite Smith deck. So I'm going to describe a card. I'm just doing one from each suit. I'm not doing the major arcana, and I'm going to describe this what the card is as if I was reading, or so the energy that comes through with it. And then as I'm talking about it, go ahead and pop in the comments what card you think it is, and then I'll show you what the card is. So the first one we're talking about, and I'm not even going to tell you the suit at the beginning. I'll give you a hint maybe after I describe it a bit, but to start with, I'm just going to describe the card. So we're going to start with a card that feels the energy is of a conflict. It feels like there's a fight going on and that you're battling against something, but it's an internal battle, and it is often sometimes uh, it's not a battle that's going to create injury or death or hurt you, but it's more like what we're doing today. We're building a muscle. So this battle that we're talking about is allowing you to stretch the muscles, to stretch your understanding of how to deal with conflict. And it can be, often this is internal conflict, but it can be external conflict. I often describe it when I get this card as like puppy fighting, where it seems like furs flying everywhere, but at the end of the day, they were just practicing how to. They're getting to know their bodies. They're getting to know the physicalness of what they're capable of, and um, there is a sense of camaraderie even though you are in conflict. So, do you have any guesses as to A, the suit that we're in, and B, what specific card am I describing? Go ahead and pop it in the comments and see if you're right. I mean, give you a minute to do that. Let me see what else I can describe for you that comes through. So, additionally, I call these the chaos card. So that's kind of a key for people who know how I read. Not everyone does that, but for me, when I see this card, I think chaos card, and it is a tipping point. It's a time to make decisions. So it's a time that you can choose to keep going forward the way you are, or you can change direction. So does that let you know what it is? Okay, so I'll give you the suit, and that might help you. So the suit we're in is Wands. Okay, so we're in the suit of Wands, and we're talking about a chaos card, and we're talking about conflict, and we're talking about puppy fighting. Any guesses? Okay, so the card we're talking about is the Five of Wands. The Five of Wands. That's the traditional. So for me, fives are the chaos card. It doesn't matter the suit. Typically, when a five comes up, that is the halfway point. That's when you get to choose. Going forward, things will be changing at this point. So I chose the Five of Wands, and that's the card I was describing. Did you get it right? Okay, on to the next one. So this card is, let's shift gears a bit, right? So this card is a card of dissatisfaction, of walking away, of understanding that even if you may not even consciously know it yet, you have emotionally disconnected from a situation, person, place, or thing. You're no longer being nourished by what is in front of you. And you've turned your back on it and you're ready to seek a new path. That's if someone said this, that would be pretty clear for me. But obviously, this is the language that I use when I work with tarot. Any guesses as to what we're in, what suit we're in? Start with that, and then what card we're talking about. This is also a card that will speak to the winds of change is one of the phrases that comes to mind when I read this card. And that you are tapping into an inner strength to be able to pull away from something that's not good for you and move towards something that has so much more potential. And you may not even know what that potential is. You may not even know yet that you are in actuality going to be physically taking action in a new direction, but emotionally, on some level, you feel it. On some level, this is not right for you. And it's time to move on. Okay, any guesses? Any guesses as to what we're talking about? Okay, how about the suit? Do you have a guess on what the suit is? We're talking about being disconnected emotionally. Any guesses? So we're in the Suit of Cups, right? So having that knowledge that we're in the Suit of Cups and we're talking about walking away, being emotionally disconnected. Any ideas, winds of change, of what the card is? We are working with the Eight of Cups. The Eight of Cups, it's a card of walking away, literally emotionally disconnecting from what is no longer serving you. These cups no longer nourish you. They do not contain anything that is of value, and you're turning your back on them, going on a journey to seek the ninth cup. The ninth cup, which is the wish fulfillment card. So, and additional piece, which I didn't say, but this is like the dark soul of the night kind of journey, right? You might be exploring some shadow areas. I'm getting out the moon here, so that a little piece of information that if I heard, I might connect to this card. Okay, on to the next one. So, new suit, new card, right? So, in the energy coming through this one is feeling stuck, feeling unable to take action at all, to feel like you're all up in your head, and no matter what happens, you are constantly talking yourself out of things. You feel like you can't see anything clearly, you don't have information, you feel that you're fenced in, that you're surrounded. Any guesses on what this card is? Any guess on the suit? So even though you feel stuck, it really is all a mental game for you. That the physicalness, if you look closely, you're not really being held in place by anything. It just feels that way when your mind gets involved. So, I guess on the suit, that would be the first one. Yeah, we're working with the Suit of Swords. So with that additional piece of information, swords, feeling stuck, being all up in your head, not being able to feel like you can move forward, not being able to see clearly, being forced to explore inwardly, because often when this type of card comes up, is an indication that you aren't seeing physically, but you have to see with your third eye. Any guesses? what the card is? Go ahead and pop it in the comments if you have a guess. See if you're right. So we are working with a blindfolded and a bound figure. That's really a giveaway. We are talking about the Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords. So when we have a blindfolded figure in the tarot, what I read from that often is that you're not seeing clearly, that the information needs to come from within, that you're being cut from the external distractions of the world, that this card feels like you're stuck, but you're not. The swords aren't pinning her down. She's not tightly bound, but it feels that way because you are talking yourself into it. The Eight of Swords was what we were talking about. Okay, final one. And this gets easier, of course, because we've already done most of the suits, so you know what suit we're in. But here's the card. So this is a card of pause. It's a card of reevaluating. It's a card of deciding if you're really headed to where you want to be going. It's a card of taking a look and seeing if what you are growing is what you planted. So any guesses on what this card is or what the suit is? It is an introspection card, an inspection card. It is one that speaks to discerning whether or not you are providing everything required to nourish a seed that you've planted. Do you have the answer yet? So we know that the suit is, because we've already done the suits if you kept track of them. So the suit is Pentacles. Let's see if that helps you at all. We're talking about seeds and pentacles, reevaluating and understanding whether or not we are providing all the components that create a flourishing growth for the seed that we planted. And additionally, pausing and taking a closer look to see whether or not we are headed toward harvesting what we really wanted to grow. You know, we could be on a path to be working towards something that we feel like we're pouring all our energy into it, we're doing all the right things, we're nurturing in the correct way, but we are headed toward harvesting something that we don't really want. And here's the key for anyone who knows the way I read. Have you planted apples and you're harvesting oranges? That would be what this card embodies for me. Or have you planted peas and you're harvesting beans? That is another example of what I'm talking about. Any guesses on what the card is? It's the Seven of Pentacles. Seven of Pentacles. It's a card of pause, reevaluating, inspecting whether or not you are providing everything needed for what you planted to flourish. And also, are you harvesting? Are you headed toward harvesting a crop that you really want? Are you pouring all this energy into something and growing something and providing for something that in the end is not going to be exactly what you want? That's what the Seven of Pentacles talks to. So I hope you had fun with that. I really enjoy doing that. You could do that yourself. I have some reading videos from past years that I've done. You could try it with what I do. Or if you listen to other YouTubers who read tarot, you could do that. Or if you have a partner or a friend that likes to read tarot, it's a fun thing to do, is to have one describe the card and then see if you can see what they're talking about. And then break out into different decks. Because I use the traditional Rider Waite because that's the imagery that most people will see. But pull a different card and work with the imagery there from a different deck with different styles, different imagery, and see if someone can pick up on what the energy is that you're gleaning from the card. So great way to stretch your intuition. You could do it yourself. Well, I'm not sure how you could do it yourself. You need to have, listen to someone else describing it so that you can, it can be a stranger on YouTube, it doesn't matter, but stretch those intuitive muscles every week, every day if possible. And I hope to see you here at the Divine Key Spiritual Gym next Wednesday for our spiritual workout. Be well. Bye.